All right, let's get right into it. It's not every day that a single decision by one player sends an earthquake through the entire league. But that's exactly what happened here. This was a move so massive, it didn't just shuffle some rosters. No, it completely redrew the NBA's map of power. Today, we're unpacking the moment Victor Wembanyama chose to leave the team that drafted him and, well, become the king of New York.
And it all kicked off with this quote. On the surface, it's just a sentence, right? But it was anything but simple. When Victor Wembanyama said this, it wasn't just some throwaway line for the media. No, this was a declaration. It put the entire league on notice that the most dominant player in the game was ready for something new. And he was looking at the biggest stage in all of sports.
So, all that speculation? Yeah, it didn't last long at all. The bombshell finally dropped on the 4th of July, 2027. While everyone else was setting off fireworks, the NBA world got its own explosion. Everything was about to be turned completely upside down. And boom, there it was. The news every team outside of Texas was dreaming of, and the absolute nightmare for every single Spurs fan. Victor Wembanyama, the guy who was supposed to be their savior, was leaving. After just 4 years, he turned down his player option, signed a massive max deal, and traded in that classic silver and black for the orange and blue of the Knicks. Just like that, the entire balance of power in the league officially shifted east.
Okay, so how on earth did we get here? Let's back it up a bit. You remember, right? Drafted in 2023, he was anointed the next great Spurs legend, the heir to the Admiral, to Tim Duncan. And for 4 seasons, man, he was just an unstoppable force of nature. The problem? It just never translated to wins. Not a single playoff win. That kind of frustration builds up, And eventually, something had to give.
And that really gets to the heart of the whole conflict here, the big paradox of his time in San Antonio. It's a classic sports dilemma, really. And it begs the question, how can the best player in the entire league, the reigning MVP, not even get his team into the playoffs? When you look at the numbers, it's just staggering.
So, that final season in San Antonio, he was coming off a truly historic MVP run. He was putting up 34.5 points a game, an average. It was like watching a video game on easy mode. He was an offensive cheat code, and literally no defense had an answer for him. But that was only half the story.
Because on the other end of the court, he was maybe even more terrifying. Think about this. He averaged 6 blocks a game. 6. That's not just leading the league. That's rewriting the book on what a defensive player can even do. By any and every metric you can find, he was the single most dominant two-way player in the game.
So you take all of that, all that historic individual greatness, and what did it get the team? 11th place in the West. They didn't even make the playoffs. And that's the whole point, isn't it? That's the key. Wembanyama must have realized that MVP trophies are pretty hollow when you're watching the playoffs from your couch. He knew he needed a change.
Now, if you're an NBA fan, this whole story probably sounds a little familiar, right? A once-in-a-generation talent stuck on a small-market team, putting up insane numbers, but with no real shot at a title. The whole thing felt so much like something we'd seen before that the media had a name for it almost instantly, the Decision 2.0.
And honestly, the parallels they're impossible to ignore. You've got LeBron leaving small-market Cleveland for the heat of Miami, and now you have Wemby leaving small-market San Antonio for the bright lights of New York City, the media capital of the world. Even the criticism sounds the same. People said LeBron was chasing rings, now they're saying Wemby is chasing a market. But the result? Exactly the same. A seismic shift that changes the entire NBA landscape overnight. It's like history isn't just rhyming here, it's a direct copy-paste.
So while New York is going absolutely wild, the city he left behind, well, it was in shock. This was so much more than just a player changing teams. For San Antonio, this felt like a broken promise. It felt like a total rejection of everything that franchise is built on. Loyalty, family, growing your own superstars.
And the fans? Oh, their reaction was immediate and it was raw. He was supposed to be their new Tim Duncan, right? The guy who would be loyal and stay forever. But in their eyes, he turned into another LeBron James, the superstar who walked away. And sure enough, just like in Cleveland all those years ago, we started seeing the reports, fans burning his jersey. The ultimate sign of a fan base that feels betrayed.
And what about the team's official response? It was so simple, so direct, but it perfectly captured how an entire city was feeling. Just 3 words from the Spurs GM: "We are heartbroken." There's no PR spin on that, is there? That's just raw, genuine pain from losing the face of your franchise.
Okay, but let's shift gears. Let's leave the heartbreak in Texas behind and head to the coronation in New York. Because Wemby showing up in NYC wasn't just about adding another star player. Oh no, this was about completing an empire. The Knicks didn't just get a new player, they got a new king.
And just look at this roster they've put together. It's built for one thing, winning, right now. You've got Jalen Brunson, the smart, veteran leader at point guard, ready to guide the ship. Then you plug in Wembanyama, the undisputed cornerstone, right in his prime. And they're surrounded by a supporting cast that's tailor-made to win. The message from the Knicks is loud and clear, championship or bust. And the clock starts now.
So it all comes down to this, doesn't it? Wembanyama left a city that absolutely adored him. He broke that promise of loyalty and basically decided, fine, I'll be the bad guy, all to chase a championship on the biggest stage possible. You could say he paid a king's ransom in terms of his reputation to get that throne in New York. Which leaves us with one big question. What is the true price of a crown? And in the end, will it all be worth it?